The room was filled with silence, yet it spoke louder than any words ever could. As loved ones gathered to say their final goodbye, there was a feeling in the air. Something heavy, something unforgettable. No one was ready for this moment, yet everyone knew it had to come. And then, standing before the crowd with trembling emotion, Sarah Bowling began to speak, and what she said left not a single dry eye in the room. The passing of Marilyn Hickey has touched hearts across the world. Known for her unwavering faith, powerful ministry, and decades of dedication to spreading hope, she was more than just a public figure. She was a guiding light for millions. For years, she inspired people through her teachings, her kindness, and her deep belief in something greater than ourselves. But beyond the spotlight, she was also a mother, a mentor, and a source of unconditional love. As the funeral service unfolded, it became clear that this wasn't just a farewell. It was a celebration of a life that had meaning, purpose, and impact. Friends, followers, and family members came together not only to mourn her loss, but to honor everything she stood for. Stories were shared, memories were relived, and through it all, one thing remained constant: the incredible legacy she leaves behind. But the most emotional moment of the entire service came when her daughter, Sarah Bowling, stepped forward. You could see the strength in her eyes, but also the deep pain she was trying to hold back. Losing a mother is never easy, but losing someone who meant so much to so many makes the moment even more overwhelming. Still, Sarah stood tall, ready to honor her mother in the most beautiful way possible. She began by speaking about the woman the world didn't always see, the loving mother behind the ministry. She shared personal memories, moments of laughter, and the quiet strength that defined Marilyn's character. She described her as someone who never gave up, no matter how difficult life became. Someone who carried faith not just in words, but in every action she took. As her voice gently trembled, Sarah expressed her gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons her mother taught her, for the love she gave so freely, and for the example she set, not just for her family, but for the world. She spoke about how Marilyn believed in lifting others up, in spreading kindness, and in holding on to faith even in the darkest times. What made her tribute so powerful was its honesty. There were no perfect words, no rehearsed lines, just pure emotion. At one point, she paused, taking a deep breath as tears filled her eyes. The room stood still. It was a moment of raw humanity, something everyone in that space could feel deeply. Sarah continued by reminding everyone that while her mother may no longer be physically present, her spirit lives on. Through every life she touched, every heart she inspired, and every message she shared, Marilyn's legacy continues. And that legacy, she said, is something that can never be taken away. The audience responded not with applause, but with quiet understanding. Some wiped away tears, others held hands, but all were united in that shared moment of remembrance. It wasn't just about loss, it was about love, about gratitude, and about the impact one life can have on so many. As the service came to an end, there was a sense of peace that slowly replaced the sorrow. It was as if everyone present understood that while this was goodbye, it was not the end. Marilyn Hickey's journey may have reached its final chapter, but her story continues through the countless lives she changed. Outside, as people began to leave, many carried with them more than just sadness. They carried inspiration, they carried strength, and most importantly, they carried a renewed sense of faith, something Marilyn had spent her entire life sharing with the world. In the end, what made this farewell so unforgettable wasn't just the tears or the sadness. It was the love. The kind of love that stays long after someone is gone. The kind of love that Sarah Bowling so beautifully expressed in her tribute. And perhaps that's the greatest legacy of all, a life lived with purpose, remembered with love, and honored in a way that will never be forgotten.